This is a part 2 to a video I made last week. Go watch that one for context on what's happening here. So an update to what happened. One of their mods actually joined our server, and we were able to set up to speak in the coming days. But they left recently, and they didn't say any apparent reason why. Later the same day, another moderator sent me a friend request and retracted it within seconds. I wasn't able to screenshot it because I was going to go accept it. I didn't take a screenshot of the notification. But this was probably to get my profile and my user ID, or to screenshot it and send it to the remaining mods and admins telling them to not interact with me. This is just a theory, but based off what I'll show, I'm 99% sure this is the case. My friend then went on into their server and asked them, why did you leave the server? And apparently this is a response that they said and deleted very quickly. We decided not to talk to a hateful person. Now drop it! Again, they deleted it very quickly, so I'm assuming someone told them to drop it because I don't know why they would say this and delete it immediately. Like, the only theory is that they want you to see it and then delete it, but they have no guarantee that you've even seen it. So, and my friend even pretended like he didn't. But first of all, in this statement, they say, we. So, I assume they're speaking on behalf of their bosses, as clearly he was willing to talk to me, until someone told him otherwise. They had admins, whoever made this decision. And honestly, this is the kind of response I was expecting, because what did they actually address? Nothing. They didn't respond to the claims I made in the video. They didn't explain why the event was handled the way it was. They didn't dispute the evidence I presented. They didn't explain the inconsistencies. Wow. Instead, the only response they said is, he's hateful. And that's what I want to address. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate the admins. I don't hate Speedsilver. I don't hate any particular group of people. Yes, I made an intentionally ridiculous rant within the video. Yeah, I used a censored slur, making fun of the hate speech laws in the UK. And yeah, I make edgy jokes. But saying a word, especially in, I think, a censored comedic context, isn't automatically the same thing as genuinely hating a group of people that the word refers to. If they believe something I said was hateful, that's fine. Tell me what I said. Explain why you think it was hateful. That's an actual argument. But simply calling me hateful doesn't address anything I said about the event. And this is exactly what I wanted. Because now I can address every excuse they could potentially make. They could say, oh, he said a slur. Okay, then say that. If you believe I violated any sort of, like, moral boundaries that would make any statement I say, like, useless, explain why. They could say I bullied or, like, made fun of their moderator. I don't think they'll do this, but if they did, it'd be funny because it'd come off really unprofessional and very emotional. And, like, it wouldn't be a good argument because then I'd just talk to a different person if they don't want to talk to me, right? I don't think calling, hey, you're fat, haha, and then, like, their whole group has to, like, ignore me and all the points I make. I don't think that's what they're talking about when they say hateful. But if they try to bring that up, that would be a little funny. They could bring up things I said in the older videos, the thumbnails. Look, I don't want to get into it because I will come off as hateful if I explain why I put those words in the thumbnail. But I mostly just joked around in my older videos. But if you think anything I said in them was, like, extremely hateful and, like, you just can't talk to this person, they'll like call you slurs. Explain why. I mean, show me exactly what you're talking about and explain how it's relevant. But, I mean, if your entire response is, he's hateful, then you're not really addressing the claims. You're attacking the person making the criticism instead of the criticism itself. So, admins, I'll make you an offer. I'll speak with one of you in a group chat, in a VC channel in my server. The audience can be muted. Bring anyone you want, right? I'll bring whoever I want. My friends will be in there. Your entire team can be in there. I'll talk to one person, unless it's relevant to talk to more. If at any point I make a statement that you genuinely consider hateful, you can leave. You never have to speak to me again. But if that's really, like, if your only response is he's hateful, you're not disproving anything I'm saying. In fact, it now looks like you're hiding it. Like, you're trying to just, like, brush it off. And you're not addressing any of the actual points I've made, which is interesting. You're just saying you don't really like me, which is fine. But those are completely different things than not liking me and saying my criticism is fake. I don't expect them to agree with me. I don't even expect them to like me. I'm not really liked in most communities I join in. In the ones that I'm not banned from, I'm infamous, like such as the KUFC. That's literally my nickname in the fights, by the way. But if they think I'm wrong, just prove me wrong. If I made a factual mistake, tell me what it was. If I made an ingenuous mistake, tell me what it was. If I misunderstood something, explain what happened. If I misrepresented a rule, if I said something completely false and pushed it as completely true without any evidence, point that out. Those are actual responses. Those are actual rebuttals. But he's hateful isn't. And before someone says, I don't have to debate you, I agree, actually. They don't. They are completely entitled to refuse to speak with me, but refusing to speak with me doesn't disprove my claims. So if they don't want to talk to me, that's fine, but then address the actual criticism separately. Because calling someone hateful isn't a magic button that like makes every single criticism disappear that you could just press whenever you feel like it. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say about that. They seem to be avoiding me, and I can understand not wanting to talk to me. That happens often, but if they are going to respond publicly, I'd rather they respond to the actual points I make than just putting in anything he says is false because he said the N-word, right? Now, moving on from that, I want to just address every single point that I think they're going to make about the hateful. Saying slurs in your video. I already explained the context. It was censored. It was used in a comedic rant about hate speech laws. Not really an expression of hatred, in my opinion. I'm not saying that anyone has to find this joke funny. You're allowed to think it was offensive, but offensive and hateful aren't synonymous, actually. It's commonly thought they are. Second, they could claim that I'm, like, just bullying their head administrator. If they want to talk to me, then they can talk to me. If they don't, then they don't have to. I'll just talk to someone else. Again, if that's their argument, go ahead, please. That'll make you look very, like, childish. I'd rather they point to the exact statement than just, like, throw the word hateful, honestly. A thing they can also say is, like, they could bring up my older videos. Go ahead. I mean, if I said anything that's genuinely, like, that bad, then show it to everyone that you're gonna show this stuff to, and let them judge it for themselves. But I think for the most part, I mainly just made jokes. But don't use unrelated things to avoid the claims I make in this video. I want to make something very clear, finally. I'm not saying that because they refuse to talk to me, that immediately proves I'm right about everything. That's not really how evidence works. What I am saying is that their refusal to engage with the claims doesn't constitute a rebuttal. If the claims are wrong, they can be challenged. If they're true, they can be acknowledged. But simply labeling the person making them doesn't answer anything. So admins, if you are watching this, which I know at least one moderator will be, the offer still stands. Bring whoever you want, I'll bring whoever I want. They can stay muted, they can watch everything, they can record. We'll have a completely civil conversation. If I cross the line you don't want to tolerate, you can leave. Or don't. That's your choice. But if you are going to respond to my criticism, I'd appreciate if you responded to the criticism itself and allow me to defend myself in any way. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say. I'll see you all in the next one.